Hey guys, what's going on? Today we are doing this look right here, which is an all drugstore get ready with me kind of makeup. I think it's important to sit down every once in a while, pull out your drugstore products, take a step back, sorry, Chicago, and just do a makeup look that is all drugstore. Now I do want to say I do use brushes that are not all drugstore because I just don't have enough drugstore brushes to be able to do that, and tools are very, very important. If anything, if I had to choose between high-end makeup and high-end brushes, I would pick high-end brushes in a heartbeat because tools make all the difference when you are applying makeup or doing any kind of art. So with that said, I pulled out all of my, not all of them, but most of my drugstore favorites and came up with this look right here, which is super light. I don't look like I'm fully made up, which is not what I wanted to go for, and it's super easy. Obviously, it's gonna be long because I chat a lot, as you guys like to tell me. I talk too much, I know. I got checks in school for talking too much. It's been a lifelong thing for me, I can't help it. But anyway, it's simple, it's easy. You can get it at the drugstore. So yeah, if you are interested in seeing this look right here, go ahead and keep watching. So I've already primed my face with the Maybelline Master Prime. I love all of these. This is the Blur and Smooth. They have a pink one, which is, I think, like illuminating, and then they have a green one. I've never used the pink one, but I've used the green one and I like it. And I really like the consistency of this. It's kind of like more of a lotion consistency. So it's really hydrating, and it's just one that I prefer when it comes to the drugstore. So I'm not doing anything crazy today, so I don't need like a full coverage face. So I just pulled like my all-time favorite drugstore products, one being the Mega Cushion Foundation from Wet n Wild. This stuff is so good. It's really glowy and just beautiful. It almost looks like an extra skin, so we're gonna go in with that. I'm not gonna use the applicator. Instead, I'm gonna use my Sigma F80 to apply it. I always prefer to spray my brushes with a little bit of some kind of like rose water or setting spray. This is just rose water, super cheap. It's like $7 for a giant like container of it from Whole Foods. So we're gonna go ahead and just get into it. Now I always apply my primer about like 15 minutes if I can before I apply my foundation, which is what I did just so it really sinks into the skin. I do the same thing with my skincare, and then I go in with my foundation. So before I do the other side, I just wanted to show you guys, this is a layer of the Wet n Wild foundation, and this is no foundation at all. So you could see it's light coverage in my opinion. I think some people were saying this was more like medium. I think it's pretty light even when you use the little like sponge thing that it comes with. So this is what one layer looks like, and this is without. So it really does just look like almost like a BB cream, CC cream. It's just kind of evening out my skin tone, but not giving me too much coverage. And if you want like more coverage, you can always just kind of like pat instead of like swiping. I'm doing like a mixture of both because I don't need too much coverage, but this is a really good brush for that. You have like both options, swirling, moving, and then really tapping it in to give yourself a little more coverage where you need it, which for me is my cheeks because I have a tiny, tiny little bit of like maybe rosacea. I'm just a little bit pinky there. All right, so once I'm done with that, I always just kind of like to run a beauty blender over just to kind of pick up any excess product that really I don't need on my skin. I'm not like breaking out or anything like that. So I really just want this to kind of be a looks like skin kind of coverage, and then anywhere else I need anything additional, I can always go in with my concealer, which is the next step here. So I have two drugstore favorites and I might use both of them. I really, really enjoy the Catrice Liquid Camouflage and the Makeup Revolution concealer. So I'm gonna start with the Catrice, and then I might just add a little bit of the Makeup Revolution. The Catrice is a really nice coverage, and this color is pretty good for the tan I'm at. And I think that the Catrice is a little more hydrating than the the Makeup Revolution. So depending on how you like your concealer, if you like it a little more dry, go with the Makeup Revolution. If you like a little bit more of a hydrating concealer, go with the Catrice. And I normally don't apply this much concealer. I don't know why I did that, but I'm doing it. And this is just my Japanese sponge, which I'm obsessed with. And the color I used for the Catrice is 20. I think it's called light beige. Yeah. And unfortunately, I think that's like the darkest shade they have, which really stinks. I wish they'd come out with more colors because I really do like this concealer. I wouldn't say it's full coverage. I'd say it's more of like a medium coverage. And then just taking the Makeup Revolution, I'm gonna add a little around the nose area right there. The Makeup Revolution is definitely a little more pigmented than the Catrice, so that's another thing you'll wanna keep in mind. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna go in, which is actually pretty new to me. I did try this once, but it was like in a super rush, so I didn't really get like a full feeling for it, but it's the Loreal Infallible Longwear Shaping Sticks. So they had been marketing these for such a long time, and I was really excited about them. When I did try it the other day, I didn't think it blended out as easily as something like my Maybelline Fit Me stick, which I love. That stuff really blends easily, but with that said, when you blend it, you can almost blend that out into nothing, whereas this, you only need a little bit, and when you apply it, it's pretty much there. So when it comes to cream contour, my contour, you can see my natural shadow is right about there. I like to go a little above, and I'm not gonna go too heavy, just like that, because that way I have some wiggle room for when I blend it out, so I'm not gonna like bring my cheekbones down in any way. So I'll do the same thing on this side here, and we'll do a little up here, and then the jawline. So I always like to take the foundation brush that I use when I'm doing a cream contour or my beauty blender to kind of blend it in, so you kind of have a mixture of that foundation that you went in with. So again, the Sigma F80, we're gonna go ahead and just kind of work it back into the hairline. So you could see, like, if you applied too much, you could tell it would be kind of difficult to blend out. So a little goes a long way with this, and just make sure. So yeah, I mean, it's blended out and that looks good, but if I went any heavier, it would definitely be a little more difficult for me to blend out. And then for the nose, I'm just gonna take a little bit. Where did I put you? There you are. A little bit on the brush, and I mean like a little tiny bit. And then I'm just gonna kind of do that. It's not adding too much, but a little shadow is what I'm looking for. That's good. So I've let my concealer sit for a little bit, which is what I've kind of been doing. And then I just take my Kat Von D brush and get everything prepared because I have really creasy, not greasy, under eyes. So I'm gonna take my Essence Brighten Up powder. This stuff is so good. Sometimes it's a little too light, but we'll see today. So I'm gonna take my beauty blender, load that up with the Essence powder, so I'm all set to go. And then I'm gonna hold my mirror up, stamp out the crease, and I'm gonna do one eye at a time. So looking up, stamping out the creases with the brush, and then setting. That way I'm like all set and ready to go. And if I do this with a beauty blender, like sometimes I do it with two different beauty blenders, but if I do that with a beauty blender, I end up a little more creasy. So I just kind of like to do this. Just like that. And then I'm going to take this e.l.f. setting powder. This is the finishing powder. This is in the color Fairlight. I don't know why I got Fairlight. It might be a little light for me, but it's pretty sheer. So I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush. This is just a Real Techniques fluffy brush, and run that along the rest of my face. Next thing we're gonna do is contour. So this is such a good set. This has a contour, a blush, and a highlighter. I'm not so fond of the highlighter. It's just like not popping enough for me, but this is the Maybelline set. This is in light medium. It's the Master Contour Face Studio, and I really like this color for bronzing, contouring, all of the above. So I'm just gonna kind of use it for both, mainly bronzing. So I'm just going in with this brush. I think it's called I don't remember. I got it from like TJ Urban Studio. That's what it's called. It says it right there. And it's the Powder 131. I really love this brush a lot. And I'm just gonna kind of bronze contour. Do you guys see the difference? Like, that looks so good. I like prefer this bronzer. I mean, I really like my Physicians Formula, but I use that all the time, which is why I didn't want to use it in this video, but it just looks so good. I feel like no matter what color, like tan I am, this works for me. And then of course, I'm just gonna contour right in there, which is what I always do. And this is my Sigma E59, which I really like because you can push it right where you need it, and it's dense, which is nice for this area because you're not gonna like flop powder all over your face, which is something usually happens to me when I'm using more of like a fluffy brush. So I just prefer something like this because of my nose shape, and I don't really have to contour my nose too much. Just looking in my mirror, sorry about that, to make sure that it's still recording. There's nothing worse than when you film a video and you're not recording. And then while we have this palette open, let's go ahead and just blush, because I really like the blush in this. It's like the perfect little pinky color, and I'm just taking a Japanese brush. So as I went to blush, my camera turned off, but you guys know how to blush, I think. If not, I have a video on it. But I went ahead and did that, and I did my brows. My brows, I'm not having the best day ever, but I used the Beige Studio HD Brow Pencil. I think that this is a good drugstore option, but it is very creamy. It's almost like a pomade in a like stick form. So if you don't like that, you won't like this. It's one of those, like, it applies the product really fast and really easy, and you can get out of control really easy when you do it. So just be weary of that. A lot of people like the NYX pencil as well. I think that one's a little more comparable to the ABH. So I did that, and then I set it with the Loreal Brow Stylist in the clear form. I like this stuff a lot. So brows are done. I did prime my eyes with a little more concealer, and then I just set it with the e.l.f. powder. But before we do that, let's get highlight on our face. I have the Makeup Revolution shimmer brick type thing, and I'm gonna go into pretty much just this top color here with my Sigma F06, and it's pretty easy to get right in there. And we're just gonna highlight a little bit. I feel like some of the dew from the powder, or some of the dew from the foundation rather, has been taken away from the powder. So this stuff is like really, really dewy, and it's definitely more of a yellow or gold based, even though it kind of looks more like white in the pan. So be wary of that, but this stuff is so intense. I know you can see that on camera because in real life it looks pricey. I really like this Sigma brush for doing this because I want a bit of an intense highlight, and it's nice because this is pretty dense, so it packs on the color, but you can also blend it out. Like, you hold it on its side and you can precisely add the highlight, and then you kind of like turn it and you can blend it. So this is a really nice highlighting brush in my opinion. All right. So what do we have left here? Eyeshadow. I'm just gonna do something real simple here. I'm just gonna go into the Wet n Wild Not a Basic Peach palette. And I think I'm just gonna pretty much work with the light shade right here, the light peachy shade. And I'm pretty much just gonna apply that right into the crease. I'm not doing much of a crazy look today. So yeah, I'll just pretty much fast forward through that and you guys can see what I do. Yeah, really that's all I'm gonna do for the most part. So pretty simple. I'm just gonna connect it down a little bit here. So I'm gonna do the other eye and then meet you back here. All right, so then I'm just gonna take this blending brush and kind of wash over all of the edges to make sure that everything's nice and blended, because I just want like a really, really diffused look. And then I kind of want to apply something under. Yeah, I guess I'll just run that same shade under the lash line. Again, you want to take your mirror, hold it up, and look up so you could really get under there. I always get nervous when I do this, and I try not to in videos because I'm scared the camera is gonna focus on the mirror. But again, this isn't so much a tutorial, but more of like a, these are the drugstore products I love to get ready with. All right, so that got a lot more smoky than I expected it to, so I think I might just add a shimmer onto like the blank area of my lid. Yeah, let's just go in with this shimmer shade in here, and I'm gonna use my finger to do that. Get a little closer while I do this, so just gonna, I don't know if any of you have like fat monster fingers like I do, but it gets really hard to apply shimmer in the inner corner when you have hooded eyes and fat fingers, you know? I'm like shaking off my hand like a brush. Pretty. All right, so I think I'm gonna just take a little bit. Is that gold gonna be too gold? Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna go back in with the Makeup Revolution highlighter just on that same Sigma brush, and that I'm gonna throw right in the inner corner. Beautiful. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is apply some mascara. So I'll do that off camera. Where is my mascara? There it is. Because I don't think you guys want to watch me apply a couple coats of mascara. I'm just gonna use the Maybelline Great Lash. I've been really liking this. I got it because of the lash extensions, which are pretty much gone now. And then I'm gonna layer a little bit of the Maybelline Lash Discovery under that. So I'll do that and meet you right back here. So mascara is on. I'm in that like weird stage of lash extensions right now, so I can't do too much with them, but they're all right to me. So the next thing we're gonna do is lips. A couple of options here. The first thing I'm gonna do is line with the NYX lip pencil in Nude Beige. So I'll do that really quick. All right, and then I'm going to use the Balmain X Loreal color in Confession. It's just kind of this like nudie, peachy, rosy color. I feel like I need to add like a purple liner, not purple, this would be blue, a blue liner into my waterline. So I'm just gonna do that really quickly. I feel like I'm just like missing something. So let me add that. Yeah, I think that made a nice difference. So this is the completed look. I think it looks very nice for all drugstore makeup, and this will last all day for me. It's light. I won't be annoyed when I go outside. It's so humid in Chicago, and I will not be annoyed because the foundation is really light. I still feel like my skin can breathe. I still feel like I look like I just have like perfected skin on, but it's not too heavy, and all of these products will last all day for me, which is obviously super important. So I think it's so easy, and I know I talk about this like pretty much every time I do a drugstore tutorial. I think it's so easy for us to get wrapped up in all of the high-end new products and stuff like that. So every once in a while, I like to just sit back, take a second, and just pull out my drugstore products, because let's be real, not everybody has high-end makeup. And it's nice to just do a down-to-earth, get ready using drugstore makeup every once in a while. So I want to keep doing this, especially as new drugstore products come out. I know drugstore products are actually getting kind of expensive, almost to the point of being like high-end, but you can always find a deal at least when you're using drugstore makeup, like CVS coupons, Walgreens coupons. Download those apps. I have both of those apps, and anytime I'm going drugstore shopping at CVS or Walgreens, I always find a coupon on there. So make sure you coupon before you buy drugstore makeup so you can get it really cheap, because they are increasing those prices. So I hope this was fun for you. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave them below. If there's anything you guys want to see, let me know. I'm kind of running out of inspiration right now, so let me know what you guys want to see. I know some of you want to see the Jaclyn Hill palette, which I still need to pick up. Not the new one, not the Volt. All the drama around the Volt, not that one. The old palette, I still need to pick that up, I know. I will do that for you guys at some point, but let me know what else you'd like to see below. Otherwise, thanks for spending some time with me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.